Hi, this is Brian from Denmark, your tech friend, with a comparison of the Samsung Galaxy S10e to the Samsung Galaxy S22. The first thing you want to compare is the physical size of these two guys, and that is exactly why I think you are watching this comparison. I've actually used this phone, the S10e, as my main driver from December of 2021 until the 6th of April, and from 6th of April I've used the S22 until now. It's the end of June 2022. So the findings you will hear in this comparison are very much everyday use. So, are these two very much alike in regards to the physics? Actually, no. Because on the Samsung Galaxy S10e, you have a fingerprint authentication on the right side of that phone. And that is, in my opinion, actually a better solution than under the display authentication. That's my preference, at least. Both of them has also got face recognition, so that also works as a double methods of unlocking your device, of course. And just to compare them at the button, you can see they are very much alike, except for that little 3.5mm jack of the S10e. And on the top you have the SIM card tray on the S10e, whereas it's on the button of the S22. The SIM card, of course, also doubles as extra SSD card into your S10e. And you cannot on the S22. On the left side of the S10e, you have volume up and down, and you have power on off button, whereas it's the other way on the S22. And what you can actually notice here is there is a difference in size. So the volume up down button is actually bigger on the S10, and that is much better because when you reach for it, you can more easily adjust up or down, whereas on this one, the S22, it just seems like one big power on off button. That's the feel you get. That said, the quality of the button is actually better on the S22, as you can see. It's very solid and sturdy, whereas more plastic here on the S10. But you have that caveat of you just mispressing it because you think it's the power button on the S22. Then the final physical thing about these two phones that is actually a bit of a surprise and a very big download is that this one weighs quite a bit more, and it's not as nifty as this one. This one just has an easier reach to the top of the phone than this one has, and when you do like this, it cuts into your hand like a potato peeler. I know it sounds weird, but it actually does. It's something about the roundness of the sides that just makes that potato cutting, peeling sensation, whereas it's not the same on the S10e. The S10e is just much more lighter, and it's also an easier reach to the top of the phone. That said, when you're inside of these two phones, they are absolutely identical as it is right now at the summer of 2022, because both of them run Android 12 and both of them are on the One UI 4.1. So these phones have exactly the same software experience, except for like some features of the camera that are different. I forgot to tell you one giant plus on this one actually. And it should be mentioned, if you're recording video, if you're an outdoor vlogger style, this is some of the best noise cancellation I've heard on a phone, period, over the entire spectrum. I am amazed because I live in Denmark. It's one of the most windiest countries in the world, and I usually make a test where I walk under a tunnel and I couldn't hear any kind of wind noise at all in the mics. So the mic cancellation on this phone is stellar. And of course the Samsung also has got this director's view, where you can fit yourself down in the right corner. You can even move yourself about, and at the same time filming forwards and even changing the lenses, as you can see there. So if that is your use case, then by all means you should of course buy the S22. The other thing this one does is, of course, it takes better pictures, and it's also a little bit better in telephoto option. But then again, it's not like a giant leap from the S10 series, so I wouldn't jump this time. The S22 is also kind of clumsy, you know. It has kind of this, it gains like overweight to the top. It's top heavy. And that means like it's actually a little cumbersome to handle and not at all the same experience as the S10e. So I would actually, over this, I would actually recommend, and I will be going back to the S21 by the way, because it just has got more natural weight distribution when you hold it in your hand than this one. Odd but true. It's like comparing a modern, stout man with an old but fine gal. I even had a girl that came up to me and asked me, is this the new iPhone? It almost smells like iPhone. Put side by side with an iPhone, they are almost the same. Yeah. By the way, if you look closely, you will notice that the setup of these two phones are exactly identical. And the way you do that, you can follow this video up here. It is super easy. If you're still on the S10e or the S10, by the way, then I would actually recommend you to stay on this phone. There's so many apps that are not adjusted and programmed to use the Exynos chip still. For instance, PUBG, you can play that only in HD, HDR or something, whereas on this you can play it in much higher setting, even though it's the older Exynos version. So it doesn't really make sense to upgrade if you've got the Exynos version or the Snapdragon version to the S22. If it's the Snapdragon version, we're talking a completely different experience in regards to most games and apps. So that may be an upgrade you want to do. But that said, I would actually still wait until the S23 comes around, or perhaps even more so, the Z Flip 4 that is coming out this fall. Because even though you may think to yourself, oh, I'm not going there, well, you should be thinking of it, because it's got the Snapdragon chipset inside of it, it's got optimized apps for that, and you got that flipping motion. About here it will flip, and then you got this little bit smaller form factor. It has that quality you're looking for. Improved the crease, so the crease shouldn't be as visible. Also, the brand new Snapdragon Gen 1, I think, or Gen 2 actually. So basically what I'm saying is, do not buy the S22 in the Exynos version. This upgrade is not worth your time. My name is Brian from Denmark, your tech friend, and I'll see you in the next one. Let the boys be boys.